Bam, bam, bam. There you go.
Well, my name is Darrin Van Horn. I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I never really thought that I was going to be a world champion. If my dad said this is what's going to happen, that's what happened. There wasn't any discussion, there wasn't any negotiations. If he said this is how it's going to be, this is how that's how it was going to be.
Drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. There you go. 1, 2. There you go.
You could turn pro at 16 in Louisiana, in Texas. Well, I happened to live in Louisiana, so my dad turned me pro. And I started fighting down there when I was a sophomore in high school. I was pro.
His greatest moment as a professional fighter. He's 18 years old. Did something that Curry and Olajide could not do to Diaz. Put him on the canvas.
You asking me kind of like, when did I think I was gonna really make my name or do something? And I never really thought of that. I always, because at that time when I had first turned pro, Sugar Ray Leonard was still fighting. And I was like, how in the world am I gonna fight? I mean, I couldn't fight somebody like Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, he was an idol of mine when I was a kid. And Tommy Hearns fighting back then, Marvelous Marvin Hagler fighting. And I was just thinking, I couldn't even fathom me being in the ring with him at the same time because I was so young and I always looked up to all of them. But next thing you know, I keep fighting and I ended up becoming a world champion. You know, after I got ranked in the top 10, things started moving pretty quick. And then, I mean, within 6, 8, 9 months, I'm fighting on national TV and I'm winning a world championship. And I just thought, this is pretty cool.
And new junior middleweight champion of the world, Darrin Van Horn.
I just never pictured myself being a world champion. You know, because I think of whenever I look up to see somebody like Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Muhammad Ali, all those guys, I think of those as being world champions, and I'm thinking, you know, and they're much, much older than I am. But all those guys, I mean, after I became world champion, I kind of looked around, I just kind of thought, I'm the same damn thing they are. Like I said, it was just surreal. You know, I was just real excited about being in that position, and I just said, you know, if I keep fighting and keep fighting and keep winning and keep winning, I'm gonna keep going higher and higher. I got beaten by a guy named Gianfranco Rossi. He was a real tough fella. He had been a prior world champion. I thought I was gonna win the fight, obviously, and he caught me with the first right hand, the first punch of the first round. He caught me with the straight right hand, and I went down. And I don't remember another bell ringing the rest of the day. I don't remember anything. The fight was at Trump's Castle, and I was in the Celebrity Cafe Deli by myself, just sitting there, because I remember looking out. They had glass walls that you can look out into the casino. Well, I was looking out there and I was thinking to myself, where is everybody? Because I fight tomorrow. I kind of came to a little bit, and then I started to realize, I was like, holy smoke. I said, I already fought. I must have been out from when he hit me until right then, and it was right around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just thought, my God, that was my first loss. And he ended up, I thought he just caught me, and I really wanted a rematch. And I did get a rematch, I think about a year later, and he beat me again because I was just getting bigger, because at the time I was so young. When I won my first world championship, I was 20, and I was still growing. I had lost a lot of weight, and he just beat me again. I mean, there weren't any excuses or anything. You know, the guy got me again. So right after that, because I did not look very good at all when I was fighting him, my promoter at the time, his name was Cedric Kushner, said, Darrin, you're going to need to do something, because you just got beat by Gianfranco Rossi, and your stock is going to go way down. And so I said, well, what am I going to do? He said, well, there's a fight available if you move up 2 weight classes to fight super middleweight, and his name's Lindell Holmes. And I knew of Lindell Holmes. He's a super nice guy, and he was a really good fighter. And I thought, you mean me move up 2 weight classes to fight a world champion at that weight class? He said, yeah. And I didn't really have a choice anymore, because I had just lost 2 in a row to Rossi. And I said, sure, I'll do it. Next thing you know, I'm training for a super middleweight championship of the world, and I end up going over to Italy, and I actually beat Lindell Holmes in the 11th round. I stopped him with a body shot, and then I became super middleweight champion of the world. And I thought, oh my gosh, here I am, a 2-time world champion, and I didn't even, that really didn't even hit me either. If you just look in the ring and you see guys boxing, you just think it's two guys there swinging punches at each other. There's so many dynamics that are going on behind the scenes that you have no idea. They're thinking about 2 or 3 punches from now, and they're thinking about punches that are getting ready to come and hit them. They're thinking about all that stuff while they're trying to think about how I need to hit you right now. There's so many things that's going on in a fighter's mind at that time that unless you got in there and was in there with somebody that really knew what they were doing, you wouldn't really understand. You wouldn't understand that that's why they call it the sweet science. After I retired from boxing in '95, I didn't do a whole lot with it. I mean, I kind of stayed away. But I got back involved with amateur boxing because I started doing jiu-jitsu here at the Four Seasons, where we are, Four Seasons Martial Arts here in Lexington. A lot of times MMA fighters like to work with me, and the reason for that is that I use my hands all the time, and that's what I do to win fights. Well, the mixed martial arts guys, they haven't really had that in-depth training with their hands. Some of them could be coming from a kicking background, Muay Thai background, wrestling background, but they don't have that boxing background. And so when they start learning how to throw those punches, it makes life for them much easier, because when they get in the ring and you have punches coming at you and you can actually parry them away, or you can just slip and slide, it makes it a lot easier for you, because you can think about things you want to do, set up things, because if you're getting hit, the only thing you're thinking about is how in the hell do I stop from getting hit? And so I work with these guys, and a lot of the MMA guys are specialized in something like Muay Thai or kickboxing, but they haven't put a lot of focus on their hands. And then they start to realize how important their hands are. It's a very crucial component for an MMA fighter to have, because you have to know how to throw punches to be able to be a champion in MMA. I enjoy starting people from the very beginning, because it's really crazy how much you think you know, and then after you get trained, how much you realize you didn't know. Because I was that same way. I thought I knew how to fight. I thought I was pretty tough, but then I got in there with a guy that knew what he was doing, and he just waxed me. I mean, he just did whatever he wanted to. That's why I wanted to get really good, so I can do that to people. And when I start training people for the first time, they get in there, and everybody thinks, at least I'm going to say the majority of the guys, they know how to fight a little bit. You know, all kids fight when they're in grammar school. They'll, you've gotten into a couple fights in high school maybe, but you just don't realize how much you don't know until you get in there with somebody that really knows what they're doing. And whenever I see guys, once they start getting really, acquainted with the style of boxing and being able to push with their legs and put power into it, they really start getting excited, because now they can start seeing themselves move, and they can bob and weave, they can move their head and not get hit, and they can hit other people whenever they want. You can just see their eyes light up, because they had never seen or heard anything like this. Like when I start training people, a lot of guys want to come to me and learn how to fight. Like if they're out, and the reason for that is if they're out with their ladies or their family, and somebody bothers them or something, they want to be able to take care of their family. And that's a big thing for majority of the men. I mean, nobody wants to get beat up, period. And they especially don't want to get beat up in front of their kids or their wife. So they just want to be able to have the confidence to be able to take care of them and their family. And so I try to give them the skills that they're going to use and that they're going to need. And I can do that relatively quick. And what I mean by that is when I get them in the gym in here, I put them through it. I mean, they're going to get hit, they're going to hit me, they're going to be bobbing and weaving, they're going to be throwing punches, I'm going to be taking them down, they're going to be taking me down. What happens is when you start training, you have a whole bunch of skills now. Just say if you and I were, or if I was giving you a private lesson and I had taught you a bunch of things, you can do it and you look really good doing them. You know, if you're throwing 1, 2, 3, you're keeping your chin down, you got your toe in the back, and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and you look like $1 million. Well, when you get a guy in front of you that's getting ready, that wants to knock you out with that right hand, your whole mentality changes. You forget about everything that you thought you were gonna do, and you're thinking about what's gonna happen when I get knocked out. Am I gonna die? You know, people just don't have that, they're just not used to getting hit, and they're not in that situation a lot. So I try to get them accustomed to, one, being hit and realizing that you're not gonna die if you get hit. But the main thing is I try to get them to be able to block, to parry them, to bob and weave, to get out of the way of the punches, to where when they get into a situation like that, they're gonna be able to bob and weave and get away from those punches and not be hit, rather than being hit and having to worry about, now what am I gonna do? See, I just want them to be able to relax and sit back and say, look, man, this isn't something I want to do. Like if he was getting ready to get into a fight with somebody, I don't feel like fighting. I'm not really in the clothes to fight, but I will. And then when something happens, they have enough confidence to go, you know what? I'm gonna throw my 1s and 2s and 3s until he drops. And when you come on your first day, you need to be ready to work a little bit, because I'm gonna teach you how to fist fight, and it's only gonna get better from there. And what I mean by that is, even though you've got a ton of skill and maybe in a different type of martial art, you might be really good in kickboxing, super good in kickboxing, but your hands are a little subpar. I'm going to teach you how to get to where you want to be with your hands. You'll be able to feel very comfortable and calm when you're in a situation or a situation arises. You'll be able to take care of yourself. You'll be able to take care of you. You'll be able to take care of your friends. You'll be able to take care of your family, and you'll be feeling a whole bunch more comfortable and confident about your skills than you did before, because you'll be getting it from a 2-time world champion that knows what the hell he's doing. After you've made a decision and you said to yourself you wanted to get better, you wanted to really learn how to fist fight, you want to be able to take care of yourself, all you have to do is fill out my contact form, and somebody get back in touch with you. We can put a plan together, and you can learn how to then end up defending yourself or get better at what you do already. It's nothing but you taking out the time to sign up and come in, because after you come in, you're gonna love it, and we're gonna get it on.